التي دعاك بها Sayre Niyazem ve Resulü Kıyam Hazaratın Ervah Şeriflerine Yerimiz Bilal Habeş Radiyallahu Efendimizin ve alel husus bu caminin bayinisi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş imam müezzin kaynımlarının ve kahve ehli imanın ervahı SahibulSaif Abdulkerim el-Kibrisi Rabbani Hazretleri için Allah rızası için El Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen-nebi. Ya eyyühellezîne âmenû sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli alâ seyyidina Muhammedin ve alâ seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Hayya aleyhisselam. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmadullah Teala ve nasabine eşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh. Eşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammedin abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluh. Sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve sahabe tabi Khalifah Raşidin Mahadin min ba'di. Ve zemmeti ala tahkik hususen min alimati Khalifah Resulullah ala tahkik. Umar el-Mu'minin Hazreti Ebu Bakr ve Umar Osman ve Ali ve ala bakri sahabe tabin ridvanullah teala aleyhim ecmain. Ya eyyuhal mu'minul hazirun ittaqullaha teala ve ati'innallaha ma'allezine tekvellezine hum muhsinun. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin ve salatu ve selamu ala eşrafil enbiya mursalin seyyidina Mevlana Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, who is the first, the last, the manifest, the hidden, the one who has might and power over all things. All praises are due to Allah, who sent Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ as the mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Sultan of creation, the Imam of the prophets, the Master of the messengers, the Intercessor of the Day of Judgment, the Sayyid of the first and the last, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafa Rashidin, Hazreti Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazreti Umar al-Faruq, Hazreti Osman al-Ghani, and Hazreti Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, welcome to you on this blessed day of Jummah, in the last Jummah of Jamadial Awwal. And welcome to us as we're about to enter into Jamadial Akhir. And after that, inshallah Rahman, we will cross the threshold into the 3 holy months of Rajab, Sha'ban and Ramazan, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to see those days, to spend them in His way, and to become better servants through them. Ameen. O believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So remember me, I will remember you. And be grateful to me, and do not deny me. O you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer, Indeed, Allah is with the patient. And do not say about those who are slain in the way of Allah, they are dead. No, they are alive, but you don't perceive it. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and the loss of wealth and lives and fruits. But give good news to the patient ones. The ones who, when disaster strikes them, say, indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return. Those are the ones upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy. And it is they who are the rightly guided. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. And in Surah Al-Hujurat, Subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The believers are only the ones who have believed in Allah and His Messenger and then doubt not, but strive with their properties and their lives in the cause of Allah. It is those who are the Sadiqun, the truthful. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. These verses are showing us one of the most important parts of the religion of Islam. It is showing us the foundation which the religion of Islam was built. And that foundation is sacrifice. Not sacrificing of animals, but self-sacrifice. The way of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his Sahabai Kiram was to sacrifice everything that they had, everything they held to be important, and ultimately to sacrifice themselves in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have heard so many times the incidents about how many difficulties the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his Sahabis they went through. We know about how they were tortured in Mecca. We know about that when Holy Prophet ﷺ used to pray before the Kaaba, the mushriks of the Quraysh used to come and to beat him and used to dump camel insides on his head. We know that Hazrat Bilal al-Habashi radiallahu an was placed in a burning suit of armor in the hot sand to make him to leave Islam. We know that the mushriks beat Hazrat Ibn Mas'ud until they ripped his ear off. We know that during the period of the ban, the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions were totally cast out from society. Nobody bought or sold with them. Nobody gave them housing. Nobody gave them any rights. We have heard this history, and we know these incidents. But do we know why they were going through this? Do we know what their vision was looking towards when they were going through these hard periods of sacrifice? For the answer to that, we can look at the incident of Taif. The Holy Prophet ﷺ went to that city, which was one of the other very noble cities of Hijaz, in order to gain support from his family members. But instead of helping him, they made fun of him and they tortured him. And they sent the little kids and the street people to chase the Holy Prophet ﷺ and throw rocks at him. The blessed body of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was hit with so many rocks that his shoes, they were soaked with his blood. A cloud appeared in the sky. And Jibreel alayhi salam came down with that cloud, and with him was an angel that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said he had never seen before. Hazrat Jibreel said, Ya Rasulullah, your Lord has seen how your people have responded to you. Your Lord has seen what they have said to you. So he has sent me with the angel of the mountains to place at your disposal. And the angel of the mountain said, Ya Rasulullah, if you want, command me, and I will cause the two mountains of Taif to collapse upon them. And what was the Holy Prophet ﷺ's response? He said, no. Instead, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses their children to be Muslims and to worship Allah alone. Even if they have rejected Islam, I pray that Allah blesses their descendants to be Muslims. And what lesson do we see from this incident? We see that the Holy Prophet ﷺ was making his sacrifices and going through his hardships not for himself, not even for the people in his generation. He was going through his sacrifices for the future generations to come to Islam. And the people of Taif ultimately did become Muslims, and Taif became one of the centers of the knowledge of Islam, especially in the knowledge of the love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and the knowledge of Tasawwuf. So the sacrifice of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions, their sacrifice was done with a vision. And that vision was looking to the future, to preserve Islam and give that inheritance to the future generations. And that responsibility, it did not end with the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions. That responsibility continued to every generation of the Ummah that has lived on the earth. Our Shaykh, SahibulSaif, Shaykh Abdulkerim al-Kibrisi Rabbani, Qaddasallahu Sir, is telling us the incident that happened when the Holy Prophet ﷺ came back from the wartime, saying, there was a time once when Holy Prophet ﷺ was old and tired, and he was coming from a war. All his clothes were in dust. He entered into his masjid and he prayed 2 rakats. He seemed very tired. He was getting old. Hazrat Fatima ran to him and said, "Oh my father, when is this suffering that you are going through going to end?" He said, "Ya Fatima, do you see that sun?" She said, "Yes, my father." He said, "The light of Islam is like that sun. If it's not entering into every house in this world, then my suffering is not going to end." And he said, "I'm not going to live that long, but I'm going to have inheritors living in this world. They are going to carry this message to different parts of the world, and they are going to bring Islam to different houses in this world." And the reason that we still have Islam is because those who came before us, they took that responsibility very seriously. And they made sacrifices for the reason that we could have Islam passed down to us today. They took the inheritance of Islam seriously and preserved that so that we could have Islam today. They didn't think about themselves only. They did not just think about their children. They were thinking about us. Is that what is happening today? Everyone has become very selfish. 21st century Muslims are just running non-stop for this dunya, to be accepted by this dunya, and to run after this dunya, and to run after the ego. And everybody is just thinking about themselves. Because they're running after the dunya to be accepted, they're not running after Allah. Nobody has the foresight to look ahead and to see what will help the Muslims in the next generation. What will help the Muslims in 5 generations? What's going to happen in 10 generations? You cannot have a vision. You cannot see with the nur of Allah if you are busy in this world. But instead, people are only looking at themselves. And even worse, we are buying temporary dunya pleasure by mortgaging away the future of the next generation of Muslims. This is what has happened since the fall of the Khilafat to this ummah. Each nation pursues its own agenda. Because we have stopped being an ummat. We have become separate nationalities that call ourselves Muslims, that do not want to have any authority over us. And every nation, every country has their own agenda. And their agenda is not even for Islam. The agenda is for how do we get political and financial power in this world. It is not to please Allah and His Prophet. It is to please those who have power in this world. And that way of thinking has led to the complete ruin of the ummah today. And because of that thinking, yes, we are looking at the first time that Islam could completely be gone from the face of the earth in one generation. Not because of violence, like in the time of the Mongols, no. Islam is being destroyed from the inside. Scholars are destroying Islam by selling out its principles and the foundations upon which it is founded. They are like people inside a building who are digging out its foundations until one day it's going to collapse. The politicians of Islam are using Islam as a political tool. They use it to their advantage to manipulate the people, but they don't do anything to help Islam. And the normal people are losing their Islam because they want to live the lifestyle they see on TV and on the internet. They say having the identity of a Muslim is too hard in these times. So we're going to live and believe like unbelievers. We will keep Muslim names, maybe, but we aren't going to keep a Muslim lifestyle. We should look and ask ourselves, honestly, in our hearts, if things continue in this way, will the next generation have Islam? And the voices that should be the conscience of the people, the voices who should be the inheritors of the Prophet ﷺ, the voices with power and authority, not just to deliver the good news, which is very little in these days, but to be a warner to the people in the footsteps of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The voices of those who are given spiritual authority, they are silent. They don't warn. The way that they are describing the world today, it is as if we're living in the time of Mahdi alayhi salam. A golden age filled with love. But as Sultan al-Awliya, Shaykh Maulana Muhammad Nazim al-Hakkani said, we're living in a time of darkness, of sorrow. And more darkness is going to come, and more sorrow is going to come. And for all his life, Sultan al-Awliya and SahibulSaif has been standing up, the few voices in this whole world, to warn the nation, to warn the alims, to warn the ulamas, to warn the kings, to warn the presidents, east and west, north and south, to warn the entire Ummah Muhammad to wake up, because the end is not going to be good if we continue sleeping. We must change. And the only way to change is to connect with those who lived for Islam. So many Muslims today, they hate the sultans and the Khalifahs. But more than anyone else, the sultans and the Khalifahs, they were sacrificing and living for Allah. Even when the sultans and the Khalifahs, by our enlightened modern standards, they are living the lifestyle that some may say corrupt, Islam was still rising. The Ahlul Sunnah wa Jama'ah Aqidah was still spreading. There was no corruption in the religion. There was no corruption in the deen. There was no corruption in tasawwuf. They were sacrificing. And they were living for Allah. But more than that, they were doing everything with a vision for the future. They were doing everything, thinking about how can we make Islam stronger, not how we can bend Islam to what the world wants us to be. How can we make Islam last into the next generation, not how we can make Islam to merge into the belief system of this world until it has no identity. Listen to the advice of the founder of the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Osman Ghazi, who gave it to his son. He said, "Oh my son, be careful about the religious issues before all other issues. The religious precepts, the principles of religion build a strong state. Put order to the political and religious duties. Take lesson from me, so I came to these places as a weak leader, and I reached to the help of Allah, although I did not deserve. You follow my way and protect Deen Muhammadi and the believers and also your followers. Respect the rights of Allah and His servants." And that Sultanate flourished and protected the whole Ummah. And because of them, Islam has continued to us. Because of the martyrs of Çanakkale, Islam has continued to us. And it is only with that spirit that we'll be able to leave Islam to the next generation. We are living in a difficult time, yes. But when we look at the history of Islam, we're still living a good time. If we look in the history of Islam for 1,400 years, we have not seen difficulty yet. But that is another problem, because Muslims, we have forgotten our history, we have forgotten our past, we have forgotten our identity. We think we are the only ones ever to come to this world. We're the only ones ever to understand Islam. But those who came before us, they lived through more difficult times. If we know what they went through, if we connect ourselves to them, if we seek their support, we are going to be the witness, and we are going to know how to move forward. Just as Sheikh Edabali, Qadasallahu Sir, gave advice to Sultan Osman Ghazi, saying, "Osman, learn your history well, so that you step forward securely. Do not forget your origin, so that you can remember your destination." O believers, our ancestors planted seeds that gave fruit, fruits that we are enjoying today. And that fruit is the fruit of Islam. But shame on us if we do not carry that work. And carrying on that work, it is the greatest honor given to us. We should be happy with it. Being part of that work will bring happiness and meaning to our lives, because through that sacrifice, we will be connected to the sacrifice of the Holy Prophet, of his Sahabi Kiram, and of the generations that preceded us. Shaykh Efendi, Qadasallahu Sir, is saying, we should be happy. Every one of you and every one of those people who are working this kind of work should be happy. That is a message given through Holy Prophet ﷺ, saying, it is going to be those ones bringing that message to every house in this universe. It is our aim, inshallah, that from every house at least one person should become Muslim, inshallah. From each house, one person should accept Islam, inshallah Rahman. In this last Jummah of Jamadial Awwal, in the day of the Urs of our Grand Shaykh, Hazrat Sharifuddin Dagestani, we should renew our intention. We should make intention to work for Islam, so that we may preserve and leave the inheritance that was left to us. Amin. Inshallah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إن كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إن كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إن كنت من الظالمين سبح قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة والروح سبح قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة والروح سبح قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة إن دين عند الله الإسلام اللهم صل اللهم صل وسلم
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على السلام حي على السلام حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قام الصلاة قد قام الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله سيدنا مولانا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم